Witcher 4 will change the gaming industry forever because they are mixing technologies that usually are separate, but now they are combined. They are taking leaps into making the video game world just as real as the real world. Now, what was the craziest thing? The first thing that I was like, holy crap, this is crazy, is the fact that the demo, which they showcased, was literally running on a standard PlayStation 5. If you like a standard PlayStation 5, not a gaming PC with a 1590 and an i12 1200K, no, a standard PlayStation 5. Now, the first thing that I got me kind of shocked was when they showed that the horse has actual muscles. That the people, the kind of entities in this world, have actual muscles, and that they are built much more like actual living beings rather than just generated entities. Right? That was the first thing that got me. Hell, this is the future because if you look at video games, right, they are kind of flat. Right? I mean, if like for example, Fallout 4, how many times can I clip through a wall or something? Or Fallout 4 is an old game, but that's kind of what I'm trying to point out is that the clipping thing, right? What they are doing is they are making the video game world just as real as our world. Now, the next technology, which I think is just awesome, the thing that is the most important is that they actually turned the tree leaves into actual tree leaves, because what none of the kind of great video games have been able to do, like Red Dead 2 for example, or Last of Us, is that they put some foliage, but it all looks 2D, it all looks flat. What they do is they use something called nanotechnology, and they make realistic shrubs, like just like in our world, but realistic. And the thing is that it runs on a proper computer. You don't need a overcomplicated or overpriced computer to run this. It runs on a PlayStation 5. Guys, it's like it's a mid-range computer basically in my or in computer terms that's like a high-end computer. But essentially, this is the future. Like they are actually making realistic foliage. And another thing that they are doing, which I think is the greatest combination of technology, is they are combining voxels with polygons. Now, if you don't know what a voxel is, voxels essentially pictures are made out of pixels. Now, voxels are like pixels only in 3D. And what voxels are like in Minecraft, blocks in Minecraft, if you know what Minecraft is. And essentially, what they are doing is they are combining polygons, which are the way games are usually made, with voxels. Now, I've been a proprietor of voxel technology for a long time because I love Minecraft, and the ability to do kind of anything you want in Minecraft without having to specifically code for that is the most advanced, like the coolest thing ever. And I really hope to see that in games. And if we start combining polygon technology with voxel technology, then that will just create ultimate realistic games, right? And obviously, Witcher 4, you can't just dig a hole anywhere, but what they are doing is they are taking the first steps. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Now, how do voxels incorporate to the Witcher world? What they essentially are doing is whenever you are far away from a tree, that tree takes a lot of resources to render all of that nanotechnology, right? Because it's far away. So what they did is if a tree is far away, they turned that tree from a actual polygonal tree into a voxel tree, just like in Minecraft. If you've seen all of those Minecraft kind of shader videos where it's like cool Minecraft clips, and you look far away, right? Those forests, Minecraft forests, look really good, and that's essentially what they are doing. If a tree or a shrub is really far away, they are essentially turning that tree or shrub into a voxel thing, right? A voxel build like in Minecraft, so that you can have a tree kilometers away without it taking up a huge load of resources. And the whole kind of graphical way, they basically jerry rig these two technologies together. And that is just the most awesome thing ever. They are really doing things that a lot of companies just aren't doing. They are taking like rendering technology into the future. Like this is how modern games will be. Modern, like For a long time, I was very skeptical of modern games becoming really advanced. And I thought that modern games had reached kind of a peak, right? Because if you look at how fast games were advancing in the good old days and how fast games are advancing now, it's kind of easy to get discouraged. But with Witcher 4, I really realized that with each game, with each crazy studio, we are getting more and more and cooler things and everything in Witcher 4. It feels like real world, right? You have interactive characters. These characters have skeletal structures. These characters have if you bump into a character, that character literally drops whatever was he was carrying, or she. Right, and they have animals, everything. Basically, everything about this game is as close as we can get to real life. Now, I don't know how good this game will be to, let's say, compared to GTA 6, for example, because GTA 6, I was also really kind of impressed about with that game. But I think that CD Projekt Red is going to be Witcher 4 and GTA 6. Those are going to be the two top games in a year. So let's just hope that happens, right? Competition is good. And another thing is that they are turning the NPCs into just as realistic as the character, as the main character, right? As the guy you're playing, which is essentially something where you basically, when you exist in that world, the NPCs you interact with might as well just be real people, right? They are basically changing that stereotypical, oh, it's an NPC, like in Skyrim, where all NPCs are just pre-programmed goofs, into something that's like very realistic. Now, whenever I was watching this demo, I was just thinking about all those other games, right? Like Starfield or Avowed or whatever, where they're still modern games, but they're just so bad compared to this. Obviously, this is still just a demo, and throughout a big portion of the demo, it did say that it's a technical presentation, not actual gameplay. But they also had actual gameplay in there. So, from what I saw with the actual gameplay, I think it's going to be just as good as advertised. Now, obviously, companies promise a lot, and Cyberpunk was one of those games where it was going to be a revolution, and then when it released, it was a buggy mess. But as somebody who's still inexperienced in the terms that this is the first time in my life, recent years, where I actually pay attention to all the new games releasing and stuff like that, and actually watch all of the demos. From what I see in this demo, I just think that with the actual gameplay being there, I mean, I don't know how really bad it could be, right? But we'll see in a few years. But I just think I'm just really also glad that this is happening in Unreal Engine 5, because Unreal Engine 5 is a free tool anybody can use to build games, which is just, it's great that our world as humans has tools available, so that it's not just the big studios, but it's also the indie creators who can use these tools to create really awesome stuff. Now, also, they showed a big portion of the map, and what I also noticed is that they did not just make it realistic. They also turned the game into a stylized. They stylized it, kind of. Obviously, it's very realistic. It's not fully how I would say stylized, but it has that Nordic, Norwegian, I would say, style, right? Maybe a bit Polish, right? The style is just awesome. The game looks really realistic. Like sometimes I, play games and then I go out into the real world and I realize how distant video games are from the real world, in terms of details and how everything feels and looks. And I think that this game is it just starts to kind of push that line where over the edge, where basically whenever you play a game, you might as well be looking at real life. Whenever they showed that forest scene, I just immediately thought, hey, this looks like an actual image of a forest, okay? And the story looks to be awesome. Obviously, it's a casual Witcher story, right? We have, Witcher who's fighting the bad guys, right? Trying to find all of the monsters and witch them out. But that's about as much as I got from the story. But essentially, this game, in my opinion, will be a revolution like no other. I think this game will change the landscape. It will set a higher standard. I think the biggest standard it will set is the shrubbery. It's the plant life. I think for a long time you have good looking games, but if you look closely at those in game worlds, you see that the shrubbery is just very bad. Right, I was playing Last of Us Part Two, and I just the shrubbery, like, in places it just looks horrific, right? And what they also said is that this game will be the kind of ambitious open world, the most ambitious open world yet, and I really believe them, right? I also think that they probably learned from what happened with Cyberpunk 2077. I hope they learned their lesson and they will really deliver. I mean, if they didn't, then sucks for them. They're just gonna fail. But I really hope to see this game. I really hope to play it. I mean, when it releases, I will hopefully have a better computer, so I will actually be able to run it. But I'm just really excited. And if I was a game developer, I would be really excited to play with some of these tools and create cool stuff. So yeah, that's kind of my take on the Witcher 4 demo. Whenever I saw an image of this, I was just immediately like, oh yeah, this is gonna this is gonna be interesting. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like. If you didn't enjoy, then leave a dislike. If you enjoy my content in general, then please subscribe, obviously, right? And if you actually made it to the end, huge thank you. And I would love to hear what you have to say in the comments down below, because a very small percentage of people actually watch till the end of my videos. So, I would love to hear some feedback. If you've already invested this much time into my content, go ahead, right? But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.